In today's video, we have a huge tropics update. As you can see, I'm not going to get into that yet, but we will start with that in just a minute. We also have some big storms on the way, a large high pressure system that's going to kind of just park itself over the eastern United States, alongside some very warm temperatures on the way as a result of that. So there is so much to talk about today. Before we get into things, be sure to check out our other business, Prestige Weather, in the description. Pin comment down below. It's only $5 a month. We do weekly consulting calls, other consulting services within our community, and also early releases of all of our seasonal and monthly forecasts. You can find all of that for $5 a month over on Prestige Weather. Again, in the description, pin comment down below. Let's get straight into things, and first things first, we can see there is this new system here in the Gulf of Mexico. We were kind of alluding to some precipitation there in Louisiana and Texas yesterday that could have some tropical elements to it, and I think this is exactly what this is. So we do have a 0% chance over the next 2 days, but as you take a look at the 7 days, we can see we have a 20% chance of development as a result of this. So certainly something we're going to be looking forward towards. As we take a look at the west, we can see a 50% chance of development over the next 7 days here with this underneath system, and then a 30% chance over the next 2 days. So not only is there a chance over the next 2 days, that also increases afterwards for the following 5 days there on the entire 7-day forecast. This one over top has a 30% chance over the next 48 hours, and then a 30% chance, and then a 40% chance over the next 7 days. So pretty equal here. Looking very, very similar in chances of development, just kind of like stacked on top of each other there, very close together. And this is going to be two areas that we need to watch on top of this current Gulf of Mexico area as well. So certainly we've gone from pretty much nothing for weeks to very, very active, at least as far as tropical chances are concerned. As we take a look here at the upcoming storminess, I want you to watch this area here, because we are going to see a high pressure system develop. We're going to see a lot of drier weather here as a result of this, and everything's going to kind of be around this area. So we're going to see a lot of activity surrounding this area, even over top here for a lot of Canada. But where that high pressure system is parked, we are not going to see a whole lot within that circle. Let's keep going with this towards this afternoon. We can see some thunderstorms sparking up here for the eastern seaboard. Excuse me. We can see that for areas like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, up through North Carolina, we see plenty, and then also for the interior mid-Atlantic up into the northeast. Definitely the southeast area looks a lot more widespread and just more consistent, and then up for the northeast, more like in mid-Atlantic, we have a lot more isolated activity, kind of less widespread. We do see a 984 millibar low pressure center developing over Canada there, and underneath we're going to see a swinging cold front begin to develop fairly quickly here. So as we reach very early into Thursday morning, about 3-4 a.m., we can see this cold front taking place. So this is going to be for tonight for the most part. And we can see areas like Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula of Michigan seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity along that cold front as a result of this very, very strong low to the north. And we can see a lot of cold air pouring in behind this cold front. So this is a relatively strong cold front to begin with. Let's just keep going towards Friday afternoon, and we can see already by that point, we can see that this thunderstorm activity has reached the northeast. We do have our low over top still as a 999, so that has weakened significantly, but we do still see a cold front as a result of that. And now, as a result of all of this, we do see a trough in the east, so some cooler temps maybe to cool things off for a minute, it seems like. And then some warmer temperatures surging through a lot of the west. So definitely very, very interesting there. As we take a look at Saturday here, the 19th, we can see plenty of thunderstorms sparking up here for the Rockies, a lot of the west here. Kind of some monsoon activity on top of some other bits of activity. We can see for the southeast, we get that kind of typical summertime thunderstorm activity happening. And then for the northeast, we still have 1004 here. And this is bringing some isolated and scattered thunderstorms about, but really nothing too major, obviously. For Sunday here on the 20th, what we end up seeing is still that southeast activity that doesn't look to go anywhere anytime soon, at least for this time of year. But we also see kind of an expansion here of this activity out west. Certainly going to be more of something to look out for. Definitely going to have to watch out for some thunderstorm activity. Monday the 21st here, we do see these thunderstorms kind of spreading further towards the deep south. So we're starting to see Mississippi, Alabama get more involved, and then still Georgia and Florida. We still see the west seeing a lot of activity. A kind of tropical system very close to Southern California could be interesting. And then we have a little bit of a system developing here with some thunderstorm activity, mostly there for Canada. Let's take this towards Tuesday afternoon on August 22nd. We see some thunderstorms developing as a result of that kind of tropical system there for California. We see another system kind of entering into the picture here for a lot of Western Canada that's also involving a lot of the Rockies. We see our system still out here towards the east, impacting states in the kind of Great Lakes area, also those kind of Canadian regions in the Great Lakes area. And we see this deeper south potential tropical activity here happening for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida there. As you can see, so Tuesday begins to get really active. Wednesday the 23rd here, we see this system dip down into the northeast here is 1004 offshore of New England. We see a lot of these thunderstorms kind of following the jet stream here. We see this tropical activity, potential tropical activity for Texas and Louisiana still ongoing. But take a look. I mean, this area that we expect to be very dry is still kind of just in a bubble of very little activity. The only chance at precipitation really is if we see this tropical system develop and then move up into Oklahoma, Texas area. That could bring some rainfall to the kind of plains area. Friday the 25th, we also still see the system kind of sitting tight. We see for the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and Northeast, some thunderstorms still ongoing. And then for the northern plains, another pocket of thunderstorms. But really quieter. And I mean, especially here when we take a look at this total precipitation, you can see a very, very large area, again, outside of that tropical activity here, with very small amounts of activity. And then we can totally tell that there is a lot of activity moving around this area, but not into it. So we see kind of something like this ongoing, but everything is avoiding this bubble that we just drew. So anywhere in the whites is practically no precipitation. Your grays will be about 1/10 of an inch or less. Your greens 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Blues are 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows are 1 inch to 2 inches. Reds are 2 to 5 inches there. And then your browns, which we do see some of that near the Bahamas and near Florida, would be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. Certainly, there is plenty of areas dealing with above average activity, including the west here. It's been a while since we could have said that. The Gulf states up into Oklahoma and Kansas, again, if we see any tropical development move up into that area, which this particular model does think is going to happen. We see for areas in southern Canada, as well as northern Montana, northern North Dakota there, as well, we see some activity, above average activity. The upper Midwest into the Great Lakes, and then areas there in the Northeast, we're also seeing above average activity. So a pretty interesting total precipitation look here. Let's just take a look at the temperature anomalies. We see cooler temperatures prevailing over the east until about the 20th. And then we see this huge warm up just set up. And honestly, this is also associated with some cooler temperatures trending in for the west, which will be a negative PNA look. And this instantly makes me think that we will see warmer temperatures really, really surging here for most of the eastern 2/3. So we need to watch very closely for that. We see this last quite a while. We do see, however, some cooler temperatures happening here across a lot of the Northeast, Ohio Valley, and Mid-Atlantic. Certainly a very interesting look, some cooler temperatures moving in. That does seem a lot more like what we saw in June. So we could see something like that begin to prevail. And look, it lasts all the way through the 31st of the month. Still some cooler temperatures out west, indicating that warmth is going to be surging for a lot of the east. And sure enough, that's what we see with the exception of this northeast corner. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe for daily uploads just like this one. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.